Hi everyone, welcome to Vinyasa Vida. Today I'm going to show you how to make an herbal wound salve. And it's something very useful that, especially if you have kids, you'll use it all the time. You can use it to quickly and safely heal cuts, abrasions. You can put it on rashes, bug bites. It'll bring relief from itching, and it's pretty easy to make. There's not very many ingredients. I'll tell you about them. I'm going to use some plantain leaf, and these are dried herbs. If you have plantain outside, by all means go harvest it and bring it in fresh. Fresh is always best. Just make sure that you get it from a dog-free area. I'm also using comfrey leaf, and these two are both excellent for healing wounds. They can do amazing things and very quickly. So I'm going to be putting these two together to give it a double whammy. You're going to need beeswax. I have organic beeswax that I got from Mountain Rose Herbs. You won't need very much, maybe about an ounce. I think I probably have 3 ounces left in here, so not so much. Also, this is optional, but I'm going to be adding a couple of essential oils, lavender and lemon, which I like to use for skin issues. And you'll need a container, obviously, and some olive oil. And I'm going to show you how to put all this together and how the process works. This is what it looks like when it's finished. So it's pretty creamy, easy to use. It feels a little greasy, but once you rub it in, everything's good. I made this one recently because my son had stitches, and I wanted the wound to heal up nicely, and so far it is. Very quickly, doctor was impressed that it had healed that much in the time given. So, okay, so let's get started. Okay, there's 2 different ways that you can go about making a salve. There's the quick way, and then there's the regular way. I'm going to be using the regular way today because I think that it's more effective. I use the quick way in a pinch sometimes. Like for instance, when my son did need stitches, I didn't have any on hand, and so I would just use a crock pot and infuse the oil in there overnight and then go ahead and make my salve. But for the regular method, we're gonna need about 3 days. So what we're gonna do is add some of the comfrey leaf. I'm gonna fill it. If you have a wide mouth jar, that's better. I just don't have any right now. They're packed with all my belongings somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so making a little mess there. About that much. I'm gonna add about the same amount of the plantain. That's almost equal amounts. That's pretty good. Okay, so now we don't add the essential oils right away. That comes much later. What I'm gonna do now, you see my jar with the herbs, I'm gonna pour enough olive oil over it to cover it. And they'll start to float a little bit, so you kind of have to judge if it's covering it or not. Oops. Okay. It's starting to get pretty saturated. Maybe you're thinking, why would I go to all this trouble to make a salve when I can just go buy something at the store? Let me tell you why. Any of the creams or whatever it is these days that they put on skin wounds is not going to be to your benefit. Steroid creams especially are going to give your adrenals a big hit. And what it's going to do, because you know the skin is a eliminatory organ, things that come out of the skin, you're not going to want to suppress them. So when you put creams, if you put lotion on your body every day, you're just pushing back down what the skin's trying to eliminate, and it drives it deeper into the tissues. And then you're going to have more problems later, bigger problems. So it's really important to let your body release things, whatever it's trying to release, and to not stifle that process. A salve is going to be it's going to impact that less because it does have the beeswax and the oil in it, but because it has the comfrey and the plantain, it's going to nourish a wound or a cut, and that's okay. I think that's worth it. This wouldn't be something, I wouldn't put a salve all over my skin every day just for moisturizing purposes. Maybe if you have to put something on, I would use coconut oil. We're just gonna go ahead and use the whole bottle. So I wanna make sure that that's good and full. Okay, so let me show you what we're gonna do with this next. Okay, we're all ready with our oil and herbs. We're ready to infuse this, and we're gonna use the most natural thing we can to infuse it, and that's the sun. The sun, being a natural healer, is gonna just add even more energy and life to this, and more healing power. So I'm gonna set this out on my deck. And this process is gonna take about 3 days. That's why it's longer than the quick process, but I really think it's more effective. In 3 days, I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish this off. See ya. Okay, I've just brought in the oil from outside, and you can see that the oil is kind of taken on the color of the herbs. It's a lot darker, and I actually let this sit out for more than 3 days, so this should be good and strong. What we're ready to do now is to strain it, and then we're gonna make the actual salve. What you're gonna need for this part, again, is the beeswax. And these are one thing I was gonna explain, you can buy it in a block or you can buy it in these little tiny pellet things. This is a little easier to work with because you're not gonna have to chop it up as much, and beeswax is kind of hard to cut through. So I would recommend this right here. We're gonna need a nut milk bag for the straining and a bowl or something to strain it in. And then you're gonna need your jars or whatever you wanna put your salve in. And I found these just at Target, just some small, they're half-pint jars for canning or whatever, but for our purposes, they're gonna be perfect for salve. So we will put them in there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and strain. And this can be messy, your hands are gonna get messy. I'm gonna take off my rings. Okay. Just gonna place my bag in the bowl. Pour it in, and you wanna get as much out of there as possible. Really, the strongest part of any tincture or salve or whatever when you're straining is what you squeeze at the very end. That is the most potent. And so when people are doing herbal tinctures, they like to have, you know, I know Dr. Morse particularly uses a 50-ton press, maybe it's 150-ton, to really extract the herbs, that last part of the herbs that's the strongest. And so I don't have a press, but we're just gonna do the best we can to really get as much out as possible. Okay, just about gotten all I think I can get. Okay, so hands are very oily. So just the oil alone feels really good on my hands. It's super smooth. That's not our finished product yet. So, okay, you're gonna wanna create, if you don't have a double boiler like I don't, you're gonna wanna create a double boiler situation here. So the way I'm gonna do that, it's not ideal, but it works. I'm just gonna fill my larger pan up with water, as much as I can. Almost to the top, because this pan is not gonna set very deep. And then we're gonna start boiling it. We're gonna get that good, we're gonna start warming up. I'll set this pan on top now, okay? So the oil, which I have here, I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna be pouring in. And even though it's not warm yet, we'll just go ahead and get a start. Now I got quite a bit of oil there, so I'm probably gonna use more than 1 ounce of the beeswax. Drain out all of it that I can. And the great thing about salves, you can play with a little bit. If you don't get the right amount of beeswax. If it comes out too firm, then you would just add more oil. So maybe you want to hold some back if you're worried about that. If it's too thin, you just reheat it all again and add some more beeswax. And you can get the texture that you're wanting, the consistency that you're wanting. So I'm just going to kind of guess here. I'm not one to really measure. Or really maybe, I'm going to go with that amount. The last one I made was a little bit more firm than I wanted, so I'm going to go for something just a little bit softer this time. You're just going to want to stir this every now and then, kind of keep the little pellets moving, and as they begin to melt, start to blend together for your sap. This process probably takes about 5 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes and our sap is really starting to firm up. I'm going to show you here what it looks like up close. It still needs to harden just a little bit more, but I do want to show you, it looks like the textures came out really nice. Very easy to smooth on. You would want to use this, as I was saying earlier, for cuts, wounds, abrasions, any type of skin rash you could put on it, and it's gonna help it heal up quickly and beautifully. Now, this is my final thing that I'm gonna tell you, and it's very, very important. Always label your jars. Whatever you make, label it. You may think you're gonna remember what's in there, but you won't. I have a lot of stuff in my cabinets that is not labeled, that I thought that I would remember what it was, and now they are mystery products. So you may want to give these to friends, or just having in your house, write down every ingredient that you put in it, label it. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.